I guess I'll start. As you know, the Thursday games take on a little different feeling with the urgency and the drive-by and the preparation. Tomorrow we'll be able to go full speed just like we did last year on Wednesday to kind of get out in the grass and go before the game. We understand the challenge, which it is a challenge to go on the road, to play a good football team, to play a great defense and great defensive play caller, schemer, we've got to be able to answer that challenge. So looking forward to the opportunity and take any questions.
Kirk, I talked to Coach about their interior with Vita and I guess Logan Hall's kind of taking over for Kansas, but it looks like they're kind of starting with that stout front and allows David to kind of roam a little bit.
Sure.
Is that how y'all see them?
Sure. Yeah, I think Vita Vea continues to be a really stout football player in the middle, he's as good as advertised. And then yes, continue to be impressed with Levante David's career and how he just continues to play at a really high level, and you kind of notice him and feel his presence all game long. And I think there are some other really good football players there in the front, in the defense that you just have to be aware of throughout the game.
It's so far apart. Do you get anything from that first game, or it's more what they've been doing recently?
I think it's both. I think all games this season, are taken into account, and the big difference is just the sample size. Going into week one, there's going to be some unscouted looks that tend to come anytime you have an opening game, and you'll still have those late in the year, but you also have a little bit more of a sample size to work off of, and then you add the short week aspect where it's hard to see as much as you want to see, but there's certainly a lot you can see there.
On the short week, is there something that teams are able to do on these Thursday night games that leads to success because of what you don't have during the week and being able to prepare? Is there some sort of adaptation that is key for teams to kind of bring into that Thursday game that breeds success?
Yeah, I think when it first started happening early in my career, Thursday night games were introduced. There was some pushback from the players. There was some unknowns as to how does this look physically, how does this look mentally. Will there be sloppier football as a result of a short week? I think from my own personal experience over these years since we've started doing it, you kind of gotten the whole bag. You've had games where you felt that was the case, but you've also had games where you felt like it was no different than a Sunday. Sometimes you felt like it was a blessing to be able to just play fast and not have to be thinking for too many days about options of what could happen or what might take place. So I don't know that I've seen enough of a pattern to say there's any one thing to point to.
Third down offenses continue to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's execution or whatever it is, what needs to change?
I do think that it's never any one thing. I think when you look at 3rd and 1, that's different than 3rd and 11. So if we're in short yardage, we gotta convert and not have it go to 4th and 1. I think we had a 3rd and short that we didn't convert this past game, and I came to the sideline and I kind of joked. We ended up converting the 4th and 1, but I joked. I said, "Man, it sure would be nice to pad the 3rd down stats when we have a 3rd and 1. If we can get a yard and a half, that would really help pad the stats." So certainly your percentage chances of converting are much higher when you're in 3rd and more manageable. I do believe we've been in 3rd and more manageable the last couple of weeks. That's not from any statistics I've seen, but just from observing as I'm playing. I don't feel like we're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, which is a recipe for not being good on 3rd down. So much of your success on 3rd down can go back to your success on 1st and 2nd down. And then when you get your ops, you got to hit them, and it is execution. It's the right footwork, the right read, the right ball placement, the right making the play in the moment, and a lot of different pieces have to come together, which is why it's the ultimate team game, and I think that shows up on 3rd down as much as anywhere.
Kirk, this is such a visual game. Any help when you throw the tapes on from last year? You guys played really well against this team in two games. Is there anything to seeing yourself getting it done, stringing plays together? Not you, but the team.
Yeah, no, I think you can build confidence from anytime you go back and remind yourself that, hey, we've been here before, we can do this. But I think you also understand, and it goes without saying, that you have to earn it every day, and every year is a new year, every week is a new week, and you really can't live too much in the past in this league. So you look forward and then you'll have plenty of time when I'm done playing to look back.
How's it been these last 48 hours off the back of that Seahawks game, just in the response from the guys being around the facility?
Well, I think the guys are ready to get back to work and get a bad taste out of their mouths. I think it hurts anytime you lose, and you feel that pain Sunday night. It stings, but all you can do is get back to work. There's really not much else to do but to just try to make amends for it on Thursday night.
How much of a difference would it make if Drake London is able to come back?
And Drake's a good football player. I think when you turn on our tape, you see the difference he makes. The plays he's made for us this year, last year. You see his career continuing to kind of ascend, and so would love to have him, and we just got to make sure he's able to do it from a health standpoint.
And that's a really talented player that you've not been able to play with this year. You haven't really taken a lot of snaps with him necessarily, as far as I know. That would have to go back all the way to last year. Do you have any thoughts on the chemistry or anything like that, or is it just something where you're just kind of like riding a bike?
I think that you're always building chemistry, so you always want more time on task. But I'm grateful for the amount we have had, and that's better than sometimes you're throwing to guys that you really don't have that much with, and so I do think we've had enough time on task to feel good about what he can do and feel like he can be on the same page.
With Drake out, you've gone to Kyle quite a bit. I know you went to him a lot in the game against the Seahawks. How have you seen? I know that's a relationship that you've been proactive in trying to develop, going back to when you first got here last year. How have you seen him develop during your time here these last couple of years?
Yeah, I think really, where the ball goes, I don't have much to do with it. It tends to be dictated by the defense that we get, which I don't, dictate, and then the play call and how we design things. I think at that point, I'm really just responding to how did they defend it, who's open, and in the moment, what do I think? And certainly there are moments where, hey, I missed that read. Like I kicked it out to Tyler when we were in like a 2-minute mode in the third quarter against Seattle. David Sills is open on the bench route. I just didn't wait long enough. End up kicking it out to Tyler. Tyler's not designed to get the ball in that play, but he gets us a good play and a good productive gain. And you look back and you watch the tape and you're like, yeah, I could have never predicted it would go to Tyler. It's not designed to go to Tyler, and could have gone to David. So where the ball goes gets a little bit more out of my hands, and I just react to what I'm getting. But Kyle's done a great job, with the role that he's got and showing up and making plays. He runs so well, and he can separate. And in this league, separation's a premium. With tight coverage, you got to have people who can separate, and he's shown he can do that time and again. And so, as a coach, as a player, you love giving those kind of guys opportunities.
It's been a few days since Sunday's game. Where do you feel the mental state of this team is right now?
Well, anytime you're 4-9, your mental state isn't where it would be if you're 9-4. But you also understand that that's pro football, and if you start to feel sorry for yourself, or if your preparation or your attitude changes, that's how you get to 4-10. And so you have to just keep working. Have great energy, great attitude, laser focus, and I think that's something y'all as a professional you have to take pride in, is that like I don't go up and down based on our record. I just kind of have my process, have my routine, and whether we're winning, losing, that shouldn't change in theory. Now, certainly, is it easier to come into work after a win? Absolutely, but your steady process should be just that, and that's kind of the way I've always tried to approach it. I think our locker room does the same.
Anything else?
All right. Thanks.
Yep.